YouTube always wants to be smart and do something that you didn't ask them to do. Uh, but I am live once again. I technical stuff bothers me because it's like if something's not working the way it's a lot of people and they got the nerve to. There we go. Okay. So, this is reflections. Last night was a combination of upsets, close fights, um, and all the above, really. We looked at, had a good night of boxing. My laptop crashed in the middle, so I had to use a device, which, that's a totally different experience. So I do apologize about that. Um, I'll wait for the chat to load so we can start pulling up some polls. Matter of fact, while you guys come in, I'm gonna start a poll. Um, hmm. Okay. So, um, Quan's big guns. Do you think McCauley did that to all those top heavyweights after seeing him TKO Anderson in the fifth round? Um, maybe, maybe. That's all I could really say about that. Like when you're dealing with McCauley, man, McCauley, you can tell he's slow. He has slow feet. He's a big guy, but he has fast hands. His reaction time is quick. I mean, the dude, like, he caught Anderson with, Anderson has this kind of trigger like reflex, cat like reflex at times, and he was getting caught with those fast hands. That's how deceptive his hand speed is. And the difference between him and someone like Andy Ruiz, which also has fast hands, is he has a long reach. I think he has the same reach as Anthony Joshua. So a big guy like that, damn near 300 pounds, he moves slow on his feet, but if he corners you, he's going to destroy you. Okay. And Anderson, his problem was inexperience, really didn't know that or how to avoid that particular attack. I mean, how to get away from those hands. You move. That's what you do. You move in, you move out. You move in, you move out. A lot of people thought that's how Tyson Fury was going to beat Alexander Usyk, with fast hands. But Tyson also has decent footwork as well. I don't buy the whole his legs are shot shit. I just think, hard living, if anything. But no, I think that Martin McCauley, what he did to Anderson, could he do to other heavyweights? Let's take this into account. Anderson was inexperienced. Anderson was smaller. But then to be fair, guys that like Joe Joyce, I think he would beat Joe Joyce. I think he would have a field day with someone like Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce doesn't have the defensive prowess. And if it really wasn't for the defense of Anderson, he would have been out in round one or two. Definitely round two. It was him knowing how to get away from those shots, a lot of those shots, not all of them, to prolong that ass whooping because that ass whooping was there. It was coming. Yes, it was definitely there, Yeah, I'll start that shit. All right. Um, I like Bacoli's nickname, Last King of Scotland, is pretty dope. Yeah, that's a crazy movie too, man. Have you seen The Last King of Scotland? Okay, there we go. I think, yeah, that is a dope nickname. It's just with me and Bacoli, that kitty shit, man, it's getting to me. Honestly, that's like, I hope he's not. But here's the thing: the only problem is it's out there, and I've got down to the nitty gritty about Macaulay. Okay, let me read it to you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Um, okay. So this was a message, and it missed me. This was in 2020 in April. Okay, so I don't know how I missed that, but Martin McCauley wasn't on my radar, obviously, right? He wasn't on my radar, and I've dug up the article about that. Okay, I thought it was a draw around either way, Max. Okay, um, this is what Martin McCauley had to say about this issue. Okay, he said, "My culture is to expose these nasty people." Heavyweight boxer Martin McCauley delivers a grueling, groveling apology for sharing vile child sex abuse video with his Instagram followers, and he insists he posted the clip to expose the abusers. I'll say so. He's issued an apology, and this is what he had to say verbatim. He said, "My intention was to draw attention to the disgusting and vile person in the video, not to condone that action in any way. My culture is to expose these nasty people." He says, "I now understand that this is not the right approach. Through social media, I am very sorry for posting the video." Bacali has won 15 of his last professional bouts, losing only to American Michael Hunter. So let's stop there. So at 4 years ago, this guy posted a video attempting to expose the person in the video of what he was doing. And I'm thinking, well, that opens a lot of questions. Where the hell did you get it? Who did you get it from? You know, um, like, what was up with that? Okay, and that's going to be the next vote with Bacali. I mean, like, here's my thing though. Where did you get the shit? That's what I want to know first of all, and that is what had to be explained to me. If I was law enforcement and then I was an agent and a special agent that dealt in that division on that issue, that would have to be where, like, okay, where did you get this shit? You're saying you've posted it and you tried to expose everyone else. Well, here's the thing. I think in some cases, people, ignorance is bliss. Usyk was right. The guy who moves forward will win. Madrimov won and was robbed. Okay, meow, meow. I think Anderson always struggled against half decent big guys. Quan, nah, Anderson couldn't avoid linear punches. I think Anderson can bounce back. He traded with a bigger guy. That's why he got stopped. He has better skills than Bacali. Well, yeah, that was dumb. I don't think but that's inexperience. He was trying to stay in the pocket and wait for openings that weren't there. And instead, he was getting hit, looking, watching. You don't stand in front of a puncher. That's what he did. He should have moved. Okay? King Grayson, bullshit. Bullshit what? What we bullshitting? You know, I don't. Here's the thing. Only Martin McCauley will be able to know if that was intentional to post that shit or it was by accident. You could say, well, obviously he wouldn't have posted something that vile that he was trying to keep a secret because most of those motherfuckers are, top secret, secret, top secret, right? And I look at that as I mean, I don't know. He's from the Congo, but I mean, anybody could told him like, dude, that is dumb what you did. You know what I mean? But then here's the thing: where did you get it? It's like you, for you trying to expose anyone, where the hell did you get it? You guys hit that like button. It's 70 people in here, so we have 2 likes. Hit the like button. That opens up YouTube's algorithms and sends it off to people that they should have done that anyway with. That subscribe to the channel, that hit the bell, because a lot of people haven't even hit or even got the notification. So it went from 70 to 57, which is weird, But they gave Bud 3 of the last 4 rounds. That was a disgrace. Well, that's when Bud was coming on, though. And I do recall in that fight when Bud started opening up, Madrimov started to hold. Kurt should box start interviewing judges after fights. Yeah, Renee Padilla, absolutely. That's exactly what should happen. Because I mean, I think that's what people need to go after. Because a lot of the referee review, sure, 7-5 close win by Crawford, but not unanimous decision. I could live with that. Simply because, unanimous, I'm like, okay. I think the mediocrity, though, like, because I mean, that was one of the most boringest fights that I've seen Terence Crawford in a long time. You know, just landed counterpunch. What's the topic? It's reflections of last night, the Riyadh season that took place in California last night. Even the rounds that Crawford lost were close. Well, that's the whole thing. I think, the judges had it unanimous. Just like, if you can recall, Andre Ward in Kovalev. People looked at that and that Kovalev not dropped Ward, and they gave him a unanimous decision. Yeah, what was it unanimous? Was it unanimous? I could see Madrimov winning also either way. Okay. But no, I mean, Terrence, I think uh I don't know if he took him lightly. I think they were both cautious of each other. And, like Terrence Crawford, he has been notorious and known for just, not doing what he could do early. The Jose Benavidez fight was similar to that. That fight was not a good performance by Terrence Crawford. He just got the knockout at the end. And, because Jose was doing his thing. Will Bud unify 154? Well, he has to fight Fundora. He has to fight Zoo. He has to fight the winner of Fundora and Errol Spence. They have to fight anyway. Understand something, people. With Errol Spence is the reason why Terrence Crawford wasn't as active as he was, because he was supposed to fight Errol Spence and he thought he was going to fight Errol Spence next, but that did not happen. Errol Spence went another direction. So bullshit is some racist type shit going on. A lot of racist mother suckers that wanted Terrence to lose. Well, regardless if they wanted him to lose or not, like, you can say the same thing about that. And the people that wish that, or the people you feel that way, whatever. They can wish all they want, but it didn't happen. Salute, brother. It was close, but I had it 9-3, 8-4. Bud Madrimov was disciplined and had a tight guard. He didn't do enough, in my opinion. Well, you got the pound for pound fighter that was just unified a total division, then move to 154, fight a champion there that we don't really know. We don't really know much about Madrimov. We just know he had a good chin. He took Terence Crawford's punches well. Um, I think Terence Crawford, though, could have done more. And then the question you ask yourself is, who had to do more to prove that they won? And the answer is both. Both of these fighters, they should have done more. You know what I mean? Like, let's take Jarrell Miller versus Andy Ruiz just for a second, because we're not there yet. But Jarrell did more. He just did more. He was more active. And I think Madrimov should have adopted that mentality. Yes, he was controlled. Yes, he was doing his thing. But I think he was too poised. I think when he got to a point where, you know, Madrimov was landing a shot, he was good at landing one shot at a time. Don't forget Bud wasn't the champ. He had to do more. No, he didn't have to be the champ. He was already regarded as the two-time undisputed champ and undefeated champ. So no, you're missing the point. He said you have to come there to take the belt. No. If a fighter to that magnitude with those type of accolades goes anywhere, okay, he's going to be respected, especially the weight class that he's coming from. So he has the reputation. He's Madrimov. You have it backwards. Madrimov has to do more because nobody knew Madrimov. I haven't heard of Madrimov before he fought. I never seen the guy fight before. I'm impressed, but then here's the thing. Terence didn't have to be champ to be considered a champ. He was just fighting in another weight class. You know what I mean? Did he relinquish those titles at 147? I'm not sure. Madrimov has power and has Bud's respect. Yes, and I think both of those guys knew. When I seen Bud open up on him and he grabbed Bud, I think he knew, like, okay, this guy hits a lot harder than people think. You got to be in there with him. I mean, you look at Madrimov's face. It's not like Terence wasn't hitting him. He just wasn't doing what he normally does. Set up a plan and take out that fighter. And that's what we are known. That's what we are known for when you come to Terence Crawford. Oh, they're relinquished now? Okay. Appreciate it, D. Young. Terence is a fraud. He lost that fight. Here's my thing. I think Terence Crawford should run that back. And I think who's better, it's the style. We've heard Bomac say that. I got a video coming about that. It's the style. So it is what it is with that. Terence Crawford, he came with a reputation. Look what he did to Errol Spence. That was shit. That was over a year ago. And I'll say this about all of these fighters. They need to stay busy. They need to stay active. Terence Crawford at his age can't look like he can't do, he can't do what he normally does. That one fight a year shit is not going to help him. He needs to stay busy. He needs to fight someone immediately at 154. Because there's a lot of Terence Crawford haters here. They are all deluded TC. All deluded TC1. Terence won the fight, though he should have done more. Well, I feel that Terence Crawford pressed the gas. I think he pressed the gas. I think he knew because Terence's trainer, Bomac, told him, like, yo, you need to, get with this dude. Stop trying to box him. Stop trying to play his game because Madrimov's game plan was solid. It was constant. Mama Lou in the building, counterpunch to you. Can't be a fraud with over 40 fights. No, you can't. And understand this is the first time, and let's look. Let's look at Terence Crawford's record. Okay. Okay, so Terence Allen Crawford. Let's look at his record for a second. Okay. TKO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So since Victor Postol, okay, John Molina Jr., 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Madrimov broke an 11 knock 11 win knockout streak from Terence Crawford. Am I saying that right? He broke the streak. He had 11 wins by knockout or stoppage, or somebody quit like Amir Khan did. TC would KO Canelo. A lot of people were, what we do, we worry too much about how one performance did with a totally different fighter. Then we take that performance and then we throw Canelo in there. And I guess we could throw the best version of the Canelo that we have in our minds on how he would do with Terence Crawford that night. When you have to understand, Terence Crawford would not fight Canelo like he fought Madrimov. Skrilla 50 in the building, counterpunch to you. 2 counter punches, no fight. It would be a chess match between him and Canelo. But here's the thing about Canelo. Canelo, that Reynoso style would be something very interesting to see, especially because, Canelo's going to come with the high guard, and he's going to come and he's going to weave in, and he's going to throw bombs wherever he is, and he's going to feint as he throws them. So you think he's going to the body. No, he's coming upstairs. You think he's looping with a left hook to the body. He's looping right back upstairs. Those type of punches are very deceptive. You don't know where they're coming from. And I would love to see how Terence Crawford handles that defensively. That's what I want to see. Canelo is slow, but since Madrimov hurt Bud, Canelo would stop Bud by body shots. Did he hurt Bud? Was that I didn't know that Bud was hurt. Canelo doesn't move like Madrimov. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the footwork like that. He's a guy that steps forward. He has good upper body movement, great head movement, when he chooses to use it. I just think he's just getting tired and not as mobile as he used to. I think just due to, not doing it. Like a lot of times you can stop a routine of something, and it's not that you don't have the ability. It's just like mentally you just don't want to do it anymore. That may be Canelo Alvarez. Crawford has 0 chance against Canelo. I know we're looking at this as a barometer at 154. Is that fair? Yeah, you could look at that, but then you got 2 other weight classes. You got 160, then 168, where Canelo's up there. And he just got stripped on the IBF side, right? Bud would get more chance of counters against Canelo. Well, I don't know what he chooses to do. I think that Madrimov deserves a rematch. Give the man a rematch. You didn't stop him, but I think, again, people are so accustomed to Terence Crawford stopping these dudes, knocking them out. It wasn't too much size difference. No, Crawford was, Madrimov was bigger, though. He was bigger. He's a big, muscular dude. But, when Terence started opening up on Madrimov did not want that smoke. That's what I noticed. Madrimov just proved to be tough, and a lot of us underestimated him. It's a big jump counter punch. Not really. 54 to 47 now. I don't think that was a big deal. But to be fair, we can put Terence Crawford in the same boat as David Benavidez right now. Why? Because those guys went up from another weight class where they were absolute monsters and did a mediocre job. Even though I think David Benavidez, beat, what's his name? Who did he fight? Alexander Volsnik more convincingly. Yeah. Okay. So we got 96 votes, and out of these 96 who won this fight, 74% has Terence Crawford, 9% has Israil Madrimov, and 17% had it a draw. Okay, so it is what it is. You guys are voting, not me. So the votes speak for themselves. The people have spoken. Right? Now, let's do this, okay, since that's pretty much what it's going to be. All right, I'm gonna make. All right, let's close this down. Let's end that poll. Boom. Okay, out of 99 votes, that's pretty much what you're gonna get. Not many Eastern Europeans voting, Kirk. I don't know if there's many on the chat right now either. Definitely, you would get a different reaction. I feel. Kurt is called a democracy. There you go. Not many Eastern Europeans. Terence is pound for pound number one. Mm. He doesn't say that. He says Usyk is. Okay. Here is the next poll. Okay, let's add the option. Cool. Okay, so here's the next poll, people. Boom. Andy Ruiz and Israil Miller. Andy, I think Andy's going to be Andy. I think Andy will be a guy that he's explosive when he does throw, but I don't think he throws enough. I don't think he did enough in that fight. It was a lot of tugging and pushing and shoving and shit like that in that fight. You know what I mean? Definitely Usyk and the Crawford. Miller for me. Okay, cool. Let me stand up. Bring this here. Okay, cool. All right. Miller won. Miller won. Okay. Vote. They both need to pick their next fights carefully. I don't know. I think that, all honesty, I believe that since we seen that hand of Ruiz, Ruiz's right hand was broken, bro. I mean, it was broken. That hand was broken. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. The hand was broken. You know, Troy Maddie, I think Bud won by 2 rounds. Dubois looked better for that fight. Big machine coming. That's a big dude. 300-pound guy coming at you, throwing punches. And you know something? I think in that fight where when Miller started going to Ruiz's body, everyone talks about his chin, his chin, his chin. Oh man, he has a good chin. Oh man, he can take a shot. He ain't got no neck. You know what I mean? He just, he takes these punches and he keeps coming. You know what? People haven't really went to Andy's body. They see the blob, the blubber. They see, the wobbly. They see all that stuff, and then they're like, okay. They think he's the Marvel character, the Blob, because nobody really goes there except Miller. Miller, I think, hurt Andy Ruiz with a right to the body. Everything. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think he can take them shots. Especially you got a guy that's 300 pounds running into you with a right hand to your stomach, and you seen his body was red. So Miller was scoring those body shots. Ruiz was still using that hand, so you got to give him credit. He was still throwing that right hand. You know what I mean? Because he didn't want everyone to know, hey, it's broken. We didn't know it was broken until he's broken. My hand, and everybody, boo, boo. You know what I mean? Those Californians don't want to hear that. They want to hear you get down, Kendall. Ruiz's lack of fight practice was his downfall. Maybe because they'll get their hands stuck to Ruiz's body. Guys, terrible. Everything went OPJ, yeah. You keep hitting someone, especially a bigger dude like that. Now, if that was Jared Anderson's, that I gotcha shit. No. Maybe if it was that, it would be a lot different, but yeah. So I just think that um, somebody changed their mind on this. Let's see. Let's see what's going on real quick. Ooh, these polls are looking. Oh, they're staggering, man. They're staggering. I'm looking at them how they go and how people are voting right now. I'm looking at the percentage right now. This is a cool feature from YouTube that you can add a poll. I think that could have went a good ways, but Anderson got exposed for the mediocre fighter he is. I think you don't go from fighting Charles Martin to Martin McCauley. Now we know Martin McCauley, and he ain't fucking around. And that's crazy. But I'll say this. Okay, to keep it a buck with you guys. Back to Andy and Jarrell. Andy's the better fighter. He was the quicker fighter, good counter punching. I think he's a surprising fighter, but he's just not active enough. And then the problem with Andy is he's a big, obese guy. He struggles with weight. He's been struggling with that all of his natural life. Maybe he will always struggle with weight based on his build. He'll be obese. And I feel if he does lose this weight, he's so accustomed to how his body is designed and just that's what he's just used to. If he does lose this weight and he does get hit with bigger guys, I think the weight rests with how much he can take. That's why Chris Arreola was bit, hit him right in his head, And I just seen an interview with Jarrell Miller. And Jarrell Miller, it's crazy because he didn't like the idea of hitting his friend. And I didn't really think Miller had that type of sentimental thinking. You know what I mean? But of course, hey, we're all human, right? So it is what it is. It is what it is. I despise Miller, but he won 8-4. Kurt Bacoli versus Zilly Zhang next would be great. Yeah, but then that's if Zhang wants it. Because see, if I'm Zhang and I got a choice to fight Joseph Parker in a rematch to get that WBO belt back, that interim, or fight Bacoli, a guy that just chopped down a young little lad of Jared Anderson, and that may happen to a lot of other fighters because he is the guy that's claimed that he kicked all types of top fighters' asses. You see what I mean? He said he hurt AJ, stopped Usyk, stopped Danny Dubois, stopped Joe Joyce. This man has been saying and preaching this same shit for the last couple years. You guys know because I've been reporting. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy said he's doing this. He's sparred this guy and he's done that to this guy and he sparred that guy and he's done that to that guy. And, and you're like, okay, is this dude for real or is he just talking for cap? Is he talking for notoriety? Is he talking just to hear himself talk? You know what I mean? Does he want to fight? Does he want a payday? And they put him in there with a guy that ESPN was pushing to their top fighter. And it was Jared Anderson. And I feel bad for Jared Anderson because he didn't know how to handle it. He didn't listen to his corner. And then here's another thing. I am glad that Jared Anderson did man up and say, hey, I did not listen to my corner. Because there's so many fighters take an ass whooping that first loss and they're like, you know what? I'm firing everybody. All you guys are fired. You're fired. All you guys are fired. You're fired. Get out. And it's like, okay, and Mark McCauley will be around for the next 5 years. So, yeah, he's going to be a problem, bro. No one will want to fight McCauley for 0 belts. Saudis will have to make it happen. Yeah, they would have to give that money up. And even if they give the money up, how much money did Jared Anderson make for getting that ass whooping? How much did he make for fighting McCauley? Let's see. How much did Jared Anderson make when he fought Martin McCauley? Okay, let's see. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, Jared Anderson versus Martin Bacali payouts. Okay, the real big baby Jared Anderson returns to the boxing logs. Blah 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 blah. Okay, get out of here. Nah. That it got to be more than that. Got to be more than that. No way. No way. Okay, this is what's reported. Jared Anderson made 75,000. I don't believe that shit. Martin McCauley made 30,000. I don't believe that. Let's look at another source. Let's see. Hmm. Uh yeah, they pay their driver more than that. I don't believe that shit. I don't know. Let's see. Um Jared Anderson fight purses. Okay. Okay, sports salary. Here we go. Well, no, that's the same. Okay. Okay. All right. Figures. Uh Jared Anderson versus Riyad Perry. And okay, that's something else. Let's see. Um Dude, I mean, because I mean, for that, let's look. My guess is 1 million tops. Let's see. Hmm. They're saying I don't know, man. I just because all we have is we got okay, boxing forum. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I heard 5 million. Well, where'd you hear that from? Because I can't find it anywhere. But yeah, Turkey Al Sheik gave away a car more than that shit. He gave away a damn. What's the name of that car he gave away? Who wins? Martin McCauley versus Bakahir Jololov. Probably Martin McCauley, unless Jololov knows how to move, and he does know how to move, and he does, But does he? And is he more? Is he experienced enough to do that, or will he do the same thing that Jared Anderson did? Jared Anderson did not know how to move. He didn't know how to move. He didn't know how to get out of the way and get out of the way of danger from getting hits. He was still in striking distance of these shots. And Martin McCauley was just like if you seen him, he was stopping because he was waiting for Jared Anderson to come in. That was all a setup, but that's due to timing, and timing is due to experience. Okay. So he knew this kid is going to eventually try to come in with some combinations because he's going to try to make a statement. He's going to stand in front of me too long. And when he dips left to the right, I'm going to put my uppercuts right in his face. And that's exactly what happened. Tim Zoo was hurt like Ruiz. They both need a rematch. Well, Tim Zoo was hurt in a different way. Dude had blood gushing out of his head. They should have honestly stopped that damn fight. That fight should have been stopped, and even cut a specialist. Like Moran. Stitch. This guy was like, you know what? It was like that should have been stopped. That you was not going to stop that with the gaushes and the shit they tried to do. In fact, I'm surprised Tim Tszyu didn't get weak because of the blood loss. Dude, he lost a lot of blood. That shit was gushing from his forehead, from the top of his head. Dude, you know, they mentioned something about 200,000. That's a lot better than 75 and 30. That's retarded. You know, like that type of fight purse is something that you want from a knockout bonus or something. You know, like you got an extra 30,000 for the knockout bonus. Oh, that's a nice number, you know? Okay, so within 64 votes, we got Jarrell Miller, 72%, draw 25%, and Andy Ruiz 3%. So Andy, you know, the people have spoken. The people have spoken, you know. Tszyu is a warrior. Yeah, he is. Dude's tough. I grew a lot of respect for him. He would have stopped Fondora. Fondora was on his way to a well-whooped ass. A well-whooped ass. Because what Tszyu was doing, he was just countering. Bop, bop. He was catching him. And, you know, Fondora, he has that Adam Kalnaki go in and attack. That's how he got knocked out before. And fighting someone that tall is difficult. It is challenging because that's what's kept him around. He's 6'6". The dude's like this tall. I'm 6'2", so he's probably here. Straight up and down. And that left hook sent his ass flying. You know, and shout out to, who did he lose by? I forget his opponent's name. Let me look him up because I have to know who this man is. Fondora knockout. Okay. Brian Mendoza. There you go. Brian Mendoza. That's his name. Kurt, what about I get Caballero versus Martin McCauley? Ooh. You know what? That fight there would be, I would have to go with McCauley. Why? Caballero's whole thing is, now he can box in and out. He's a good in and out fighter, and he may be able to pull it off because he's more athletic and he's a lot better than people think he is. A lot better. But it's his footwork. He comes in and spot, and he steps out, spot, and he steps out, you know, and the crazy thing about him, he wants to get you on the ropes. Good luck pushing a 300-pound man back on the ropes. Because especially if he's looking to counter, if he's not fast enough to get in and out, he may run into a right uppercut, left uppercut. Something may happen with that. Something may happen drastic with that. Okay? Maybe Andy can recover from his broken hand and beg Benavidez for an opportunity. My hand is better. I'm on the treadmill. My hand, as you guys can see, fuck. Caballero is a Goliath destroyer. Yeah. But then, see, I mean, McCauley, though, what I've seen from that kid, you know, understand this. He did take out a undefeated, inexperienced fighter. And he wasn't a Snickers opportunity. Yeah, you know, I'm glad Miller didn't lose. That's what I'm happy about. Terence didn't lose. Miller didn't lose. Jared Anderson versus Martin McCauley. To me, that fight like that was like, okay, we'll see what he has. If he can get past that, he's the real deal. Like Eddie Hearn said, you know? And I know Eddie Hearn was he was happy as shit. Salute Counterpunch in the chat. La Jessica in the building. Counterpunch to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate that love. No, Caballero, McCauley. Yeah, McCauley, I want to see him work that body, man. He may hit one of those body shots and break down McCauley. You know? Speaking of Caballero, I want Caballero to fight Michael Hunter. That's a fight, bro. Michael Hunter and Caballero. You know what I mean? Turkey, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Inbox Turkey. Turkey likes the spotlight too much. He does like to be recognized. He does. And I think And I think that's one of the stipulations from getting all that damn money is like, I'd like to thank Your Excellency Turkey Ala Sheik. You know what I mean? Yeah, he does like that shit. Caballero should fight Parker. That would be a good fight too. Parker versus Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez versus Martin Bacali. Big Bang versus Bacali. Big Bang versus Caballero. Big Bang versus Frank Sanchez. So you have a lot of those fights, man. Kurt, who will win Anthony Joshua versus Martin McCauley? That's a difficult one because now you're not dealing with a guy that's 6'4" and has a light puncher. You're dealing with somebody that knows Anthony and Anthony knows him. It will be an interesting fight though, because one thing about McCauley, if he hurts you, he's going to get you out of there. So if he hurts AJ, he could take AJ out. Because the type of mentality you can tell he's a countering guy that picks shots very well, Bacali. That straight right hand and bop, that bop, that and see even Anderson, sorry, Southpaw. Even Anderson, boom, he was getting caught and he goes straight back. That was the dumbest thing he could have done because all Martin did is close the gap and throw the same punch. He's wide open. That's why you never go straight back. You go side, not straight back because you're still in the target. You're still on that center line and you're in danger of getting caught. And that's how he got knocked out. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Bro believed that Crawford versus Israil fight was close, but I feel Israil won. That's my opinion. Sean Richards, appreciate that opinion. Everyone has one, bro. I think both of those fighters should have done more, to be fair, and I think Madrimov should have pressed the gas because he was the unknown fighter. He was the champion, but he wasn't the guy that was under the spotlight. He was the guy that's supposed to test the guy under the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the same token, being a fan of Crawford like I am, I expected him to do more. Just because people were expecting him to do more. Not do just enough to, hey, I got to win, so what? Good night. No. Put some stank in it, But back to Joshua and Bacali, yeah. I mean, Bacali's the real deal, man. He's the real deal. I just want to know how he can take other fighters' punches, bigger punches. Because Jared Anderson is not known for a big punch. He's not known for a bigger puncher. Guys like that, Jared Anderson knew that I don't have the punching power factor with me. I can't hurt this guy with one shot and wobble him and then get him out of there. No. He had to be able to move, bob, weave, and box. He should have been able to do that. He should have done that, and he didn't do that. Period. Caballero's pressure would overwork Bacali's slow feet. Well, that would be to his advantage because he does have quick feet. Okay, that would help him, and it would probably help him from getting killed. Because Bacali's one of those guys. If he hurts, you've seen him. He's a slow slug with fast hands. That's scary as shit. Imagine a slug. You're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. That's what was messing with Anderson. Anderson was like, okay, this dude's slow. Look at this dude slow. Come on, old man. What you got? Back, come on. What you got? Back, boop, boop. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Boop, boop. Over with. First round was like, oh my God, what was that? That was Martin Bacali. That was Martin Bacali. So yes, people. That's exactly how that was. Crazy. But yeah. A slow guy with fast hands. It's kind of creepy, Then you add that other element shit to it, makes you think. Caballero should fight Parker. Okay. All right. McCauley versus White has to happen, and that would be a good fight. And I think shout out to Dillian White for making that fight happen. Now Dillian White is shorter than McCauley, but I mean he's a heavier-handed guy than McCauley. That would be a good fight. I would love to see a fight like that. That fight, Dillian White and Martin McCauley. Oh yeah, they got beef anyway. Let's see it happen. Spah! Let's see it happen. Let's go. You know? McCauley beats White. Kurt, I would like to see Dillian White versus Jarrell Miller next. Yeah, I would like to see that. That could be a doable fight. I think the way White fights, I think White. It depends because we didn't really see a lot of White when we saw White. He came back, he fought Christian Hammer. Christian Hammer quit, I think, in the 6th round. I posted it on the channel, the fight itself, from a ringside view. The fight is one uppercut away from a KO. Yeah. But then understand what's a counter for an uppercut? A left hook. Who has a good left hook? Dillian White does. You know what I mean? So, McCauley's he's faster, he's sharper, he's younger, he's bigger. He might hit harder. And then here's the thing: we know Dillian White can't take uppercuts, and if he gets caught with one of those uppercuts, his ass is out cold. Get the oxygen, make this man breathe. Wake him up. Smelling sauce. Smelling sauce. White has always got knocked out by uppercuts. Yes, he has. Hold on, what the hell is that? Holy moly. Wow. Okay. Dude, that just made it just that much more interesting. It's raining like dogs and cats outside. Yeah, it's his kryptonite. Whoa, Black Betty. Whoa. Whoa. Kurt, who wins? Joseph Parker versus Martin McCauley. See, Martin McCauley reminds me a lot of Big Bang Zhang. And then, here's the thing. If you want Godzilla versus King Kong, let's have it. That's the type of fight that I think Turkey would probably want. He would want someone like Zhang that Zhang is, spot, bop, you know what I mean? That's one, that two, you know what I mean? He's a good bob and weaver, and that would be a good fight, a big fight between two big guys. I would love to see that fight, 600 pounds in the ring at one time. Let's see it happen. Let's go. Let's do it, So I think that's probably what Turkey's sitting. I want Zhang versus Boli. Let's see if Boli can take big guy now. Let's see if he can have big guy. Let's see. I want him to fight big man. Jared is young now, but big man. You see Jared kind of butthurt though. Oh fuck, man, that motherfucker didn't want to. Shit, nobody want to fight this dude but me. Shit, he hit hard as shit, man. He hit hard as shit. Hell yeah. Shit, nobody don't want to fight him but me. Shit, put him in front of me, man. Shit. Fuck. He was just, he got out of his element. Then he's ready to smoke a blunt somewhere. Would you favor who would you favor in that fight? I don't know. Zhang versus McCauley. Both solid guys thus far. I'll do this. I have to go with Zhang. Why? Because Zhang has been tested. He has been caught with Wilder's right hand, and and Joyce has put pressure on him before he beat the shit out of him, then knocked him out. Joseph Parker, he's a better punch. He's been in there and he's taken guys' shots, okay? And we know he's durable. We don't know that about Martin McCauley. We just know Martin McCauley got stopped by Michael Hunter. Now, Michael Hunter ain't even known to be a big puncher. He's just an excellent boxer and he moves well. He gets out of there. And that's the kind of guy that would beat him. Maybe Caballo may do that, but we're talking about Zhang. Zhang, okay, Here's the thing. That would be a counter-punching fight that would probably be like David Tua, Ika Barabucci. Why? Because those guys will be busy with their fast hands, slow feet, right in front of each other, trying to get each other shit. That's what it would be. Straight right, Bacali has a great, swift, piercing right hand. It hits the target quick. If you notice how fast that right hand is of him, dude, that right hand is fast. Fast, bro. Wilder never landed 100% on Fury. Parker and Zhang because he is technically rubbish. Hunter versus Bacoli rematch. Well, Hunter wants that money, and I get it. He's the only guy that beat this big Congolese last king of Scotland. So, yeah, I think Michael would do it for the money. You know what I mean? And he knows and he's done it. He's like, okay, tire him out. Because the fight didn't last long enough for Jared Anderson to really understand. Martin McCullough was getting tired, though. He was getting tired, but the thing is, the punches were still there. They were still available because Anderson never changed. He never adjusted. He didn't listen to his corner. He did admit that. He was like, look, I just needed to listen to my corner. Stop fucking pulling straight back. That's what he was doing. And then he was getting hit with the same shot. He gets hit with the right. Oh, there he is again. You don't want to move your head. There's another one. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what happened to him. The speed and accuracy of Bacali is a problem for anyone. Yes. But understand, Zhilei Zhang has the same attributes. He's just a southpaw. That straight left is quick. That right hook is deadly. Okay? But he throws them very quickly. Okay? He does this. Hunter destroys Anderson, even with him having ring rust. Hunter destroys Anderson. I don't think. Look. I don't think that's something that they need to be doing right now. I think that they should just leave that alone. Honestly, I think leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. Seriously, leave him be. One fighter fight or flight kicked in for Anderson. He chose to flee. No, I don't think that at all. I mean, if he chose to flee, he wouldn't have got knocked out. He got knocked out because his ass stayed there. Think about it. He stayed there. And he was trying to look for openings that weren't there. He was just getting caught. The only openings that were available is his face to Bacali's fist. Jared Anderson needs to rebuild because he got destroyed badly. Well, yeah. Yes, this is true. Didn't seem like he ran from the smoke. He kept trying to trade with Bacali. AP, absolutely. Absolutely. Bacali was just too strong for him. Yeah. He almost punched him out of the ring. Yeah, that would have been real bad. That would have been jacked up. Yeah, if he'd have knocked Jared Anderson out of the ring, and then Jared already was talking about quitting. He was talking about quitting, like I'm in here 2 or 3 years and I'm out. I'm like, what are you gonna do, dude, for the rest of your life? What are you gonna do? You know, you know, I don't know. So, yeah, dude, it's crazy. Jared Anderson should train with Terence Crawford. Well, I mean, both switch hitters like that. I don't know. I think he should stay with Sugar Hill. You know what I mean? Because obviously, Sugar Hill has not installed in him what he needs to learn, but it's up to him to understand and to obey and to be disciplined enough to do what he needs to do. And he didn't do that. Now, if I hear of Jared Anderson leaving Sugar Hill Stewart, that's a problem. Because this is what will This is what'll come to me. What'll come to me is that Jared Anderson heard something from Sugar Hill Stewart that he didn't like and he bounced. And that means, well, you can't take constructive criticism behind closed doors when someone's telling you, yo, you fucked up. You should have went left to right, bobbed, weaved, not go straight back. Why didn't you do those things? You need to do those things against bigger dudes like Martin McCauley. Hell, Zili Zhang would have done the same thing, more than likely. He would have caught him and hurt him with the big shots. The only difference is about Zhang. Zhang's not a big finisher because he's worried about that gas tank. He ain't trying to hit the pedal to the metal because he only has a limited amount of fuel. That's the thing about Zili Zhang. So Zili Zhang and Martin McCauley would fight as long as it lasts. Somebody's asses get knocked out, though. And I think whoever gets knocked out, it's the person that runs out of gas first. That's who's going to knock out. The person that person is going to get knocked out because the other person then will start coming in, then, really putting together shots and really getting in that shit, because there's nothing left. And Zhang knows that. That's why he fights like that. Kurt, how much years you think this generation of heavyweights have left? I'd say 1 to 3 left. Usyk, Fury, White, Ruiz. Let's do it this way. All right. Usyk, he has 1 year left. Fury, he has 2 or 3. White, he has 1 year left. Ruiz, he may have 3 or 4, but it would linger and stretch out for the next 5. Wilder, he may be out anyway. There you go. You can't win a fight against a champion like that. Boxing needs refining when it comes to judges and decisions. Well, we have favoritism, we have biasness, we have sports bets. And I think that controls a lot of these outcomes of these fights, especially when something is supposed to be a shoe-in, and then all of a sudden that other guy wins, and you're like, what the hell? Somebody's rich as shit, because somebody knows, well, look, if we plan this right, we can all get rich. The mobsters did it in the 30s, 40s, 50s, didn't they? They set up and rigged fights all the time because that guy that's favored to win, the odds are against him. Boom, if he wins, somebody else gets rich. And I think that's still what's going on today. I don't think it's necessarily mobsters doing it. I just think other people have just adapted that whole ideology of profit. Like, hey, let's bet and let's corrupt this damn fight to make it go the way we want it to go. Okay, that's that. All right. So that's what I think. It wasn't a robbery, but a bit weird. I don't think, here's my counterpunch, people. Okay. Here's my counterpunch on Terence Crawford versus Israil Madrimov. I don't think it should have been a unanimous decision. I don't. I think it was close enough for one judge, at least one judge, to give it to Madrimov. Just by the sake of having a different opinion, because most judges are like that. You see that one judge scores it this way, the one judge scores it that way, or normally two of them score it one way and then the other one's kind of like the oddball. That's what we see in a lot of those judges, but these judges all had it for Crawford, and it makes you think like, was there any favoritism, biasness, corruption in this particular fight? It could have been. But what does it take away from Terence Crawford's win? Well, I think he won. I just don't think he won like they said he won. You know what I mean? That's that. $5 million before taxes. What's $5 million before taxes? Skrilla 50. Kurt, I hope Zili Zhang versus Martin McCauley happens next. That would be dope. But I think Zili Zhang will go another direction because he's after what he lost, and it makes sense. So when Zili Zhang says no. No tiny power. No Bakale. When he says that, don't say he ducked. Because what he's looking but he has to fight Joseph Parker. So if he doesn't fight Joseph Parker and he don't fight Martin McCauley and that fight is presented to him, yeah, he ducked. Kurt, who wins? Terence Crawford versus Jared Ennis now. Jared's a big dude. You see him? You see when Terence Crawford walked past Jared Boots Ennis, the dude was like sitting up here. And look, that's a good fight because Jared Ennis is a Philly fighter. Those guys fights with sticks, stones, and bottles in the streets of Philly. Fights with sticks, stones, and bottles in the streets of Philly. Those dudes are tough. Danny Garcia, Joe Frazier. Those dudes are tough. So I don't know. I mean, but here's the thing. If Jared Ennis really wants it, he has to leave 147. If he really wants that fight. I mean, if he claims to want that particular fight with Terence Crawford, yeah, he needs to move. He needs to move up. Madrimov pushed the pace most of the fight against Bud and made him fight on the back foot. Madrimov outlanded Bud in power punches, but Bud outlanded him in jabs. It should have been a draw. Well, here's the thing. Canelo Lara, right? If Ruiz versus Miller ended in a draw, Madrimov versus Crawford should have most definitely been a draw. No, I think they most definitely wanted an outcome. They didn't want a draw because a draw doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean progression. It doesn't mean to the next level. It doesn't mean who's next. No, a draw just means a draw. But I think they should have a rematch. So Jarrell Miller definitely won this. 67% think Jarrell Miller won. 8% thinks that Andy Ruiz won, and 25% thinks it's a draw. Good voting, guys, on that. But the reflections of the fight, look, Turkey Al-Sheikh, man, he's in this to separate the men from the boys, and that's exactly what we're seeing. The mothers from the others, right? I think, he is the reason why we're seeing these fights. He is the reason why it's being revealed to us who wins and who really is about this particular sport. You know what I mean? We have been for so long talking about how we feel what people can do without them even fighting. Like Tyson Fury was the guy that just beats everybody. He don't have to fight anybody. And then he had everyone believing that same bullshit story. I'm like, no, no, no. Tyson has to fight these dudes. But then Tyson's problem was he was like, I'm so much better than everyone else. I'm way up here and everyone else is down here somewhere. That's a long way. That's a long way, and that's a big gap of how good you think you're better than other fighters. That's a huge gap. Love your channel, mate, from the UK. Cretan, appreciate you, brother. How long do you think Canelo has left? The last fight Canelo was in, his prime, was against Triple G's third fight. That shouldn't even happen. He shouldn't even fought Triple G. Triple G had no business going to, especially being that age. This motherfucker was gasking and huffing and puffing, and I think Canelo took it easy on him. I think Canelo could have stopped him. The Canelo I knew, the one that fought in 2001, would have stopped Triple G. He would have stopped him in the third fight. But understand this, okay? Let me mention that for just a second to address Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez. Okay, you know what? The main factor with Triple G and Canelo, Golovkin was old anyway. He was old the first time he stepped into the ring to fight Canelo Alvarez. He was already 35, 36 years of age. He was already that age. And see, a lot of people are not looking with the eye of, hey, how about this stalling tactic that Oscar De La Hoya implemented on that fight? He didn't want to fight him in 16. You remember that? When he was beating up guys like or even, what did he knock out? 14, he knocked out David Lemieux. You know what I mean? 15, Canelo beat Cotto to take that strap as heavyweight middleweight, and claimed he wasn't a middleweight. So you start looking at guys like that and things that he started doing, and I am not the middleweight, but then you're not a fucking super welterweight either. He wasn't 54 because he couldn't make the weight of 54. At 54, he couldn't make the fight with him and Angulo. He had to pay Angulo a certain like $200,000 or $300,000 more because he couldn't make the weight. So he made him, and they moved it to 155. Canelo fought 155 about 5 times. That is not 154. That is not a super welterweight limit. I'm sorry, it is not. What you said about Mark McCauley? What? I don't know what that means. I'm so relieved and happy Fury lost to Usyk. Usyk knocked his ass off of the floor and brought it crashing down. Look, I think that Triple G was old when he fought Canelo the first time. So the last time he was just stupidly old. He wasn't the same dude. He was running out of breath and stuff like that. You see Golovkin now, he looks like Golovkin is a fat, gutted guy. You seen him, he's a trainer now. He's training somebody. You seen him belly all out there. He's trying to teach these guys. I'm like, damn, look at Golovkin. Golovkin the trainer. Ain't that something? Would you look at that? Can you say what you said about Mark McCauley? I mean, he's a strong fighter. I mean, he should be fighting a lot of top guys. You know, he destroyed Jared Anderson, but I would like to see him in there with a top fighter. There you go. Savior plus Congo. Assuming you're from the Congo. Yeah, Zili Zhang, McCauley should happen. Now, back to McCauley, okay? Let's talk about this last thing before I jump off of here. McCauley now is the guy that has stopped the undefeated prospect, potential American chance and hope, Jared Anderson. Okay. But before that, what was going on with him? We got two things, actually. We got to talk about that. Okay. One, McCauley said that he stopped Joshua, Dubois, Usyk, and Joyce. He said he whooped all their asses in sparring. Then we get an opportunity firsthand to see how this guy fought. And we seen him destroy a top prospect. Now we look back in. Do you think the rumors are true? We got to make a poll. Let's go. You know. Cool. Boom. All right. You're okay. So that is the next poll and the last poll. Okay, so we got to vote on that. What do you think now of the claims that Mark McCauley is bringing upon us? Because this man has been claiming that he's been doing this shit for a long time. You know what I mean? He's claiming that, hey, you know what? I did it. I did that to Joshua. I did that to Usyk. I did that to Joyce. I did that to Dubois. You know, and I've done all that shit, and that's why they don't want me. They're like, no, I don't want any more of that Congolese power. Okay? So Anderson made McCauley look like Thanos. Yeah, he did. He did that, man. And Anderson wouldn't let those hands go, and he didn't have the opportunity. When someone's coming at you like this here, the last thing you want to do is try to Matrix and Neo his ass. No, it's not going to work. So, yeah, and that's another thing about Mark McCauley we got to talk about. The Kitty P video, what he did, like we talked about at the very beginning of the live stream, he posted some shit 4 years ago, and he claims that, hey, I was trying to show people, you know, and expose people, these people for doing this and get this guy out of here. And then my question is, where the fuck you get it? Where'd you get it from? Who gave it to you? You know what I mean? Because, see, that type of stuff is radioactive to a normal-minded person, right? Can we agree on that? So, someone hands you something, a content, like, hey, look at this shit. And you fuck around and look at it. You know, I'm a visual person. I can't unsee shit. I'm going to punch the motherfucker in the face. Like, why the fuck did you know what I mean? You, like, tell me what you give me. You know what I mean? Because some people are like, hey, watch this. You're like, watch what? You know what I mean? That's why I don't really like surprises. I don't like surprises of any kind. I don't like nobody to tell me about a movie or a fight or an outcome. I don't want to see shit. I don't want you to, oh, yeah, man, here, look at this. Watch this. No. If you can't tell me what it is, I don't want it. You know what I mean? So the question you ask yourself is, where did he get it? That's my only question. That's the first question that I would ask. And if that pans out, then I would say, okay, well, who are you trying to, you know what I mean? Why would you do that? Why would you expose it? Why did you, send it to your Instagram? Like what the, like, you luckily you didn't get shut down, bro. And really, I don't think it matters if it went on Twitter, which Twitter is what American based, X. It's American based company that, because at that time Twitter was Twitter, not X. So when he did that on Twitter and that was posted from his account, why the hell didn't, like, come on, bro. You got people going to other countries to arrest people to bring them back to their country, like they did Pablo and like they did El Chapo and all those cats. You know what I mean? This is one of those things. Why didn't they take it to him? I don't know. That's weird to me. That, like, okay, that's a dead giveaway because some investigation had to take place once he posted it. Once he posted that shit, and I guess he took it off and apologized and all that shit, but still, somebody should have been like, okay, yeah, we've heard your apology. Okay, whatever the fuck. Where did you get this shit? If you don't tell us, we're locking you away forever. Right? So, I mean, I don't know if that happened. That might have took place. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, those would be the things that I'm speculating with, Dude, I thought I paid for the wrong kind of pay-per-view every time Porter spoke. Yeah, I know what you mean. It just lets you know that the zone is in the zone. Okay, it is what it is. It's the top running. And I told people from 2018, watch and learn. Okay? Like I told people about PBC Fox 9 years ago. Watch and learn. See, you don't have, I knew PBC was going to be successful when you had Golden Boy and Top Rank trying to shut that shit down, trying to sue them and stop them from coming on free TV, right? Fox, they wanted to shut that down, that free TV, because they weren't used to that model, and to them, all the fighters from Golden Boy went to, Al Heyman, and I know that rubbed Oscar's cokehead ass wrong, very wrong at the beginning. Porter's commentary sounded like an audio from Brokeback Mountain. Never seen that movie, bro. Adari Pennant, Kurt, who wins? Moses Atoma versus, I'm going for Moses. But I haven't seen Perro, to be fair, so I don't know. He said he gave AJ a tough time behind the closed doors. Okay, that might have happened. Also, there are different levels to, okay. None of them right, but taking to a 17-year-old not the same as a 7. I'm just being real. One is a perv and the other one is a danger to society. Well, oh yeah, that's a huge difference. I mean, someone 17 could always lie. You know what I mean? Like, some people, because I mean, you're 17, 17, in some places 17 is legal. So, there you go. But then, like, if you're 35 and someone's 17 and that's what you're into, yeah, you like little mother. You're R. Kelly, bro. Mm-hmm. But that children, like, walking around, like my kids, bro, I will kill a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Dead. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that's nothing to play with. You know what I mean? Like, you see someone looking like, what the hell are you looking at? Yeah. Those type of people, a threat to society. You know what I mean? Castration, those are the only people that I think that should be getting, given drugs, sterilizing drugs, people like that. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the poll. Okay. 57% says no. 45% says yes. So this is kind of close. You got 10% difference on each end. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes a 17-year-old may look 21. And if you're 25, talking to a 21-year-old ain't bad. But if they are 17 years old, but then here's the thing: 17 years old, it's like you don't know. 17, different 17, 18. Is how a person develops, male or female, because you have these sick ass teachers out here. We've learning about that in the States over here. These teachers, now here's the weird thing. These teachers, you catch them messing with like a 12-year-old boy and stuff, like, yeah, you're going to jail. But here's the thing. The people that they are dealing with, or they're assaulting, are kids that you never would even think. They are the youngest looking kids around. Yeah, you're a PDF file, lady. You know what I mean? Because that's your little Jonathan's 11, and you're doing that to little Jonathan. How about Roderick back there that bastards flunked 3 or 4 times, and he's 15, that's hung like a horse? You ain't fucking with him. You want the little dude. That type of shit pisses me off. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're not even being fair. You know what I mean? You just like the idea of little young people, and that's sick. You know, not the dude that flunked 2 or 3 times and shit, he should be in high school, but he ain't. You know what I mean? You don't want him. Yeah, you'll probably run from him. Kurt, if Wilder and Fury never fought the real best, the U.S. would still be saying Fury is number one, Wilder is number two. Wilder will go down at the 12th best of this era, and Fury will be the third best of this era. Mohammed, counterpunch to you. And see, that's why Turki Al-Sheikh's presence is very much needed. I'm glad he was here. I'm glad that, Turki Al-Sheikh came in to play, because Turki Al-Sheikh is just revealing what happens when these fights actually happen, and he's there to finance them. Period. Kurt, I think he may have given them problems, but he didn't stop them. Daniel Baranji. Daniel Baranji. No, that was in reference to Martin McCauley and the allegations and the stuff that he was involved with. That's why we were talking about that. You know what I mean? Not, I guess you just thought like, oh, okay, now I see what he's going with it. Cool. Just reiterating. Joseph E. Kurt, I think he may have given a, okay, yeah, I got that already. Yes, uncomfortable topic. Yeah, I mean, that was uncomfortable looking at, bro, hearing about, like, because this is before Jared Anderson fought McCauley, and like one of my sources sent me an inboxed me. So I looked at it, and I don't know if I'm happy. I hope I didn't look at it, but it did change my perception of how I looked at Mark McCauley. It did. You know what I'm saying? Anybody human would. Like, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, he's savage, but what else is he? What else is going on with this dude? You know? So, do you think Martin McCauley? Okay, let's see. Where are we at now? Okay, 46 to 54. Okay. And it's 50 votes. So, but no, I think that I was really taken aback by that whole thing, man. I was like, oh, Kurt, I ain't heard anything about it over here. Okay. I just looked up they sent me the source or whatever. So, but on that note, him fighting Dillian White, I think, because Dillian White was the first, because I remember him saying it. I just didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, why would the hell we call him that? I didn't think anything of it. Now I remember it, him saying that. How many rounds did you give to Madrimov? Maybe five. Maybe five. I think it was a 5 round to 7 type fight. It could have been a draw. If it was a draw, that would have been the first draw. Well, second draw for Madrimov. Growing up with my favorite book as Cave, it was Cather in the Catcher in the Rye, because the theme of wanting to protect innocent always resonated with me. And you will see today it's getting exposed. It's always been around. I think McCauley hurt people in sparring. I don't know about stopping them. Well, I mean, if you hurt them in sparring and stopping them, here's the thing. That could possibly happen in a real fight, couldn't it? No headgear, no protection of that kind. You get caught with a shot. You got to deal with it. Sink or swim, sink or swim. So I think that's what that's about, people. Let's see. 44 to 56. That's a pretty staggering number. I can understand that number. because who knows? You don't have footage if unless you had footage. If one of your buddies taped it, now that would be something worth seeing. You know, absolutely. Bacali like Zhang could KO any of these guys. Yeah, they had plans for Crawford. There's no way he was getting a draw or a split decision. I think that may have had a lot to do with it too. This is the sport that I love, that I hate so much. Porter versus Bacali next. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it was a 5-5 going into 11 and 12. Yeah, I mean, I give him 5 rounds. I think it's 5 rounds to 7, and I think Crawford did enough at the end of the championship rounds to win it. But my thing is, it shouldn't have went to that, because from his reputation, he shouldn't have ever, he should have pressed the gas a lot earlier and seen what Madrimov could take or not take. Not just kind of just play it smooth and sit there and box off the back foot. And here's the thing. Coming from the words of the Alabama sledgehammer, Deontay Wilder, like, nobody want to see a boxing fight. If someone want to see somebody get knocked out, they want to see your brains all laying out on the canvas. That's what they want to see. you know. But on that note, guys, I appreciate you guys today. I'm going to jump off of here, do some more video content. Appreciate you guys joining me once again for reflections of yesteryear. You guys have a great weekend. God bless. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.